So I was playing ball one day, and they threw the ball too hard and went all the way down the street and rolled right up here in front of the church. And I looked up, I was, oh my God, there go my church.
Whoa, Jesus.
All right. My memories with the Maypole Ave Church. I remember a lot of faces. I remember the times when there were fellowship days here at Maypole. It would always be packed, always packed. People standing along the walls, nowhere to park, but we had a great time. Dr. Harper, he was a character. And I just loved him so much. He was so encouraging to young preachers. Whenever he would have me to come by and speak to him, I always counted it a great honor. And he always made sure I had some spondoolies, as he called them, before I left. And he would get up behind my sermon. However I did, whether I thought I did all right or I thought I dropped the ball, he would get up and say, "Storm is just passed over." And I just respected him so much. Then came along Dr. Dean, and I just loved him. I just loved him the way that he was just Nathaniel Dean. He wasn't trying to be nobody else. What you saw was what you got. He was going to talk about the Bible. And he was quick to laugh, and we just got along marvelous. Just whenever he thought I needed help, he would say, "Well, what we gonna do, brother?" And he would make sure that he was there to support me. And when I called on him to preach, come preach for me, it was just such a treat just to be able to sit at his feet, and then the confidence that he must have had with Brother Sims when he retired, to pass it on to him. I did not get to know Brother Sims that much, just a brief time that he was here once I came, but Maypole has always had a strong preaching tradition. There's a long list of preachers that used to be here, and I would be negligent if I started calling some names, because I know I would forget some. But I can think of at least 6 just right off the top of my head, preachers that were here in this congregation that came up under Brother Dean, came up under Brother Harper, and worked alongside Brother Sims. And so I remember that Maypole was one of the first churches of Christ that I knew of in the city that took out a loan to expand their facilities. And it was just amazing to me. It's like, wow, there's somebody with enough foresight, enough industriousness to go out and expand their facilities. We're making history right now. And I hope that there will be some kind words said about the history that we're making. I hope that someone will see how we, not just me as the preacher, but we as a congregation, laid the foundation for the future. We've got some catching up to do. We've got some movement to make to catch up technologically, to make sure that we can do what we need to do now in this new climate. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful at the foundation that has been laid by those who came before me. And I just pray, God, that I could add a couple of my own little bricks so that it will continue onward and upward and reaching higher heights.
My name is Margaret Dean, and I've been a member of Maypole ever since 1964. I became a member under the leadership of Brother Cardiel Hopper. where there was no classrooms. We had fitted sheets and flat sheets to divide the classrooms. We would have students sitting on the chairs, students that were sitting on our laps, and Brother Hopper would even fix us breakfast, and we would love the children so much until we would go overtime, and Brother Hopper would have to ring the bell time and time again to get us to know that Sunday school class is over. And we helped and leaned on each other, where when one fall, the other, everyone fall. We was a loving type of people in those days, and that actually was the motivator of success.
My name is Sister Bonnie J. Banks. I obeyed the gospel in Folsom in December 1965. As a matter of fact, I was the first one to get baptized here. I live across the street there, and I belong to Mount Olive Baptist Church, and my husband wouldn't take me. And so I came over here, and I was waiting to hear the noise and the music, and I didn't hear it, and the people were so nice. And Brother Hopper wanted to hear that night. Brother McNeil was preaching. So afterward, he was coming in the door just as we were dismissing, and he invited me to Bible class. And I always wanted to know what the Bible said. And I knew in the Baptist church it wasn't right, but I was reading it all the time, the Bible. So when he taught the Bible class about the church, I said, Lord, you've led me to the right place, to the Church of Christ. And that was 50-some years ago, because after all this, 22 now. It was in 1965. I made 85. I was a teacher here for 43 years on the anniversary committee, baptizing, and everything you want to name, I've done it. And most of the young ladies you've interviewed, I used to be their Sunday school teacher. And I thank God for you. I thank you singing. And Maypole and Brother Walker's a wonderful preacher.
Hi, my name is Carol Dean, a part of the Dean family that's originally from the Maypole Avenue Church of Christ. I've been a member of the Church of Christ since I was 5. Well, I've been attending the church since I was 5 years old. My uncle, Brother Nathan Dean, started me fellowshipping here at the Maypole Avenue Church. And from then up until the time of his death, I remained here at the Maypole Avenue Street Church of Christ. Been singing in the choir here at the Maypole Avenue Church of Christ since 8 years old. We was called the Little Angels under Sister Elma Carter and Lucille Allison. I then went from that, had to wait until I turned 12 to get in the big group, we used to call it, the Sounds of Melody. At that time, it was the Maypole Avenue Street singing group, and then it became the Sounds of Melody up under Dual Gant Jr. And from then on up until this point, I've been in several groups that's here at the Maypole Avenue Street Church of Christ. We branched off and had a little quartet called the Gospel Emotions. Then we branched off and we had another group, the Dean family, and I still remained in the Sounds of Melody. Sounds of Melody, after Dual Gant passed, it came Sister Barbara Odell became the director. And then after her, Stanley Dean became the director of the singing group. Sounds of Melody it was under the hands of Sister Dorothy White when I first started. We had families here at this church. The Wiggins, the Hemphills, the Deans, the Hoppers, the Dawsons. We had big families. The Dawsons had 2 sets of families. They were so huge. of the what was their name? Bernards. This church was full of family. We didn't have a lot of money, but we had each other.
1971 is when I became a member, the 10th day of April. On this 10th day of April, it really meant something to me. It really got down on me. You know, I became this member, and when I went back home, people jumped me. They were raising sand with me. I was born in Choctaw County, Mississippi, the town of Ware. I belonged to the Methodist church there. My dad was a Methodist minister. Later on, I became over at Metropolitan. And when the pastor at Metropolitan died, I left Metropolitan. And Brother Harper, Maypole Ave, Church of Christ, what he done, he came to me and had classes with me. He told me that in the classes that he had, he showed me that whatever I'd done there or whatever I'd done in Methodist, it didn't count. I was still lost. And I came under the leadership of Brother Harper. And then he had Sister Dawes and Sister Blake with him having a class down at my home. And later on, I became a member here. And in the Church of Christ, one thing that I learned that in the Methodist church, if you had a problem there, what you would do, you go to the Methodist manual to settle the problem. In the Baptist church, if you had a problem there, you went to the Baptist manual to settle your problem. But in the Church of Christ, you go to the Bible. I see that it says, I was reading a tract on the wall that says, well, they says that the Church of Christ have no other creed other than the Bible. And you know what? I've been up and I've been down with it. But I've learned one thing. However you go with it, stay steady enough to stay in the church. And I didn't say you wouldn't have no problem in the church, but stay steady enough to stay in the church because that's your only route to heaven is through the Church of Christ.
Hi, I'm Sister Wendy Sevier Newsom. This is my only daughter, Trinity Sevier. I came to Maypole with my mom and family in 1982, and I've been here ever since as a member. I was married here, baptized here. Got married in 1994, New Year's Day. Brought my kids up in Maypole, and this is my family. And now I'm bringing my daughter with me.
All right, would you like to have something to say?
I've been here ever since I was a little baby. I remember little bits of being here when I was smaller. And I'm 11, finna be 12.
Hi, my name is Desiree Knowlton, Sister Knowlton, known as Des, D-E-S, but everyone here calls me Sister Knowlton. Joyce Winfield was my mentor. We were kind of like in the world together. Joyce invited me to Maypole Avenue Church of Christ. I came here and started coming to worship for a whole year. And I hadn't obeyed the gospel. One Sunday I will never forget, May the 23rd, 1983. I was sitting on the left side, the third pew. They had the invitation, and Brother Harper was preaching. And Joyce kept saying, "You all right?" I said, "Yeah." I kept singing, and all of a sudden I just went up there, and Brother Harper ran down the aisle and grabbed my hand. Brother Max Steffen baptized me, and I said when Brother Steffen took me down in that water, I said, with the mind that I have now, I'm going to serve God until I die. I have no intention of going back in the world. 3 men that I looked up to was Brother Harper, Brother Nathaniel Dean, and Brother Dawson, the superintendent. He the one saw something in me that I didn't see. He pulled me to be a teacher. He put me up under Gloria Lewis, which is in Arkansas now. And she trained me with the babies.
And I never forget when he came to get me, get Sister Lewis out of that class. I said, no, don't take it. He said, oh, Sister Norton, you all know how to teach now. She been in here with you almost a year. So I started teaching the babies, and I got off into God's Word, studying and creating things for the kids, and I just loved it. And then Brother Dawson appointed Sister Pearl Cox and myself to be the youth director for maybe about 15, 20 years, I don't know. But anyway, and then Brother Dean, I never forget, I was in Phoenix, Arizona. When I got back, he had put me in the room with Brother Sims just to sit in there to observe. And he took the women's out of Brother Sims' class, and he said, we're gonna create a new convert for women. So I really had to get into the Word, okay? And all night, day, that's my life, and it's still my life, studying. I love teaching. What I did with all my students, from babies all the way up, I developed a personal relationship. One day, I work at Illinois Masonic. One night, I was on my way to work, and I was up on the Lower Wacker Drive. And I noticed all these homeless people. Mayor Daley's son was in there then in office. And I called Sister Roche. And I said, you know what? Christmas is tomorrow. I'm going to go buy Popeyes and buy some chicken, and I'm going to serve these people out here. She said, oh, I want to go half on. I said, okay, then. So Roche and I started this homeless ministry. We started doing it personally. Then it grew. We went to the leadership and then started having it announced. And different ones would come and help us, and we would go in the kitchen and pack the food. So that's how the homeless ministry started, and it's been going on close to 8 years now. Teaching is my life. If I'm not in a classroom, like when this virus hit, I just started teaching the babies on the phone. I went by their house and I took them material, and we've been having class ever since that virus been going on. I take them they treat once a month. I take other kids they treat. So my life is serving God until he called me in. Thank you.
My name is Sister Gwendolyn Cox. I came to Maypole June 28th, 1987. I came from the Far West Church of Christ, and upon coming, I was a youth director there with the chorus. Some of our fondest memories was maybe twice a month, Sister Knowlton would gather up all my youth, and they were like ages from 5 maybe up to 9 or something like that. And we would just have a good time singing praises in the different senior citizens' homes. One of my greatest joys that I had was that my dad was happy when I would go and then come back and give him a report on how we lifted those seniors up. Brother Richard Potts was our Sunday school teacher. He was class number 8. We had no other Sunday school teacher in the world like Brother Potts. He was the greatest. We established workshops, and we did them on unity, love, hate, envy, whatever we needed to build our class up, and Brother Potts did it. In the month of February, Black History, we coordinated a Black History tour. My greatest joy was just being here, just working in the Sunday school class where we can build up and lift up our Sunday school classes. That's one of my greatest joys. Thank you. This is Amani Gabrielle Tyson. This is my granddaughter. Gabby's first day, she was 4 months old when I brought her here to the Maypole Avenue Church of Christ so her mother can continue on with her education.
Hi, I'm Gabby. When I first came here, we would go in the room, and one of us would start prayer and the other would end prayer, and we would watch different videos about what God's done, and we would read Bible books and then we started gems, and we started we started serving different people, and when the visitors came, we gave them extra things.
Do you remember what GEM stands for?
Oh, Girls Empowered to Move and to Serve. And when we went on our trips, we would go skating, we would go bowling, we would go on different trips, and now we have different kind of meetings on what's God done for us, and we have it every Sunday at 1 o'clock.
87, 88, somewhere in there. I went straight to Maypole. Went in there, Cartier Hopper, preaching a sermon. He preached, don't sit on the sidelines. He said, get up and get in the game. That's what the first sermon I ever heard from him was like. And when he ended the sermon, he said, the storm just passed over. And that stuck with me for a long time. Cartier Hopper. Then I met Brother Dean and Brother Sims and all of them at that time. And they didn't know what I could do. So they were all querying me because we had an evening Bible study for men's class. And they were saying, well, what you do? I said, well, I can sing, I can pray, you can sing. I said, yeah, I can sing. So Brother Sim said, go ahead and let us hear something. And so I started singing. And he said, oh yeah, we got us another song leader, y'all. So after that, I ended up becoming one of the song leaders. Brother Max Stephan was the song leader. And I ended up eventually leaving Maypole, going to Mississippi in 06. And I ended up coming back June 6, 2013. And I came back to Maypole. Now I'm married with my wife, Redelia. And Brother Dean now was the minister. And so me and him already was tight beforehand. And when he saw me, I can't never forget, he was always willing to open up and help. And he said, get your family settled, and glad to have you back, Doc. During the time under Brother Hopper, I became a teacher, a Sunday school teacher for the young boys, Sister Nisi Dean, and people like Jonathan, they were real young and everything. People like Craig Dean, Carolyn's son, Sister Severe's son, all of them were my students. And I was the first teacher, they said, that took time with them to take them out and I took them to Giordano's to have pizza party and everything.
I was baptized in 1989 under the leadership of Brother Louis Dyson. And when he retired, I'm on my membership over here to Maypole Ave, Church of Christ in 1998.
My full name is Sister Letitia Lacey, and I was here at Maypole early 2000. I say around 2001, I became a member. I was baptized under Brother Dean, and after that, I, was taught Sunday school under Brother Sims. At that time, he was teaching both classes, adult men and women. So I went there. I did that class, and after that, I became a student of Sister Nota's in her Sunday school class. And so I went there until I graduated out of her class in, what do they say here? January 18, 2005. And after that, I became a teacher of my little babies, from early age. And so I taught the class until the virus came. So once the COVID-19 started, then that's when everything
shut down. And I miss all that, and I sure enjoy being here and look forward to coming to church every Sunday.
Good morning. My name is Jacqueline McDavis. I came to Maypole 2014. I started out on coming to Wednesday Bible class, and so I decided to come back on a Sunday. I don't remember the name of the sermon Brother Dean was preaching that Sunday. See, I came under the leadership of Brother Nathaniel Dean. But anyway, I decided to get baptized that Sunday. And that was the best decision I could have ever made in my life, because I had been in a Baptist church all my life. But I'm glad my sister that tried to rush me out of here, she the one who brought me to Maypole. So that's how I got started. Her and my brother-in-law, they had been here for years before me. So I'm so glad that I came. And Brother Dean said, "You sure you want to get baptized today because the water is cold?" I said, "You know what? I'm not putting off today for tomorrow because it's not promised to me." So they baptized me that Sunday. The water was cold. They took me under that water. Lord, when I came up, I was so happy, shouting, "Thank God." It might chill my body, but not my soul. I felt so good and relieved. I knew from that moment on, I was home. I was home. And I remember when you sang that you asked God to give you a song to sing. And I heard this song. It was Saved by Grace. I'm not no great singer, but I just want to share these words. How did I make it through the storm? How did I make it through the rain? If you want to know, just ask me. It's so easy to explain. It was God's grace. It was God's grace. It was God's grace. It was God's grace. I was saved by God's grace. And thank you so very much for this opportunity for me to spread my little wings. Amen.
I came to Maypole around 2015. I think my mother died that year. And I met I met him at Dole's. He invited me and another guy here to the Church of Christ. And I felt like I'm in the right place because I was going to a Baptist church. And I said, God got me at the right place because my spirit is telling me I'm in the right place. And so I love Maypole, Church of Christ. I've been having a wonderful time since I've been here with all my sisters and brothers. We've been doing everything together. We go out to dinner, we go visit other churches. We have come. I have come to a lot. I studied Bible school. Sister Norton was my Bible school instructor, and she taught me very well. I'm still learning. So I'm just glad to be a member of Maypole Church of Christ.
Hi, my name is Linda Thompson. I came to Maypole Avenue Church of Christ in 2016 under the leadership of Brother Dean. I began to volunteer at the food pantry on Mondays, and I was welcomed into the family by many senior members of the church, Sister Banks being one, Brother Dean being the other, and Sister Mamie Dean being another. And I'm glad to be a part of the family.
So my name is Jonathan. Some black history here in Maypole that I got is learning how to cook here in the kitchen with Brother Dean. God is my witness, I did not know how to cook at all until Brother Dean showed me how to cook. And I can remember a lot of times making cornbread, and Brother J.B. Dean would say, "Jonathan made cornbread and it tastes like cake." But Brother Dean showed me how to cook. Him, Brother Darrell D. Berry, we would get here on Saturdays and we would cook up a meal for the church on Sunday. And one moment I can never forget is when I learned how to make Brother Dean's famous fried corn. And he would tell me, you don't gotta stand over and stir it all day, just make sure it don't burn. And when I made the perfect pot of fried corn, I knew I had arrived. And everybody ate it, and they almost thought, some people thought it was Brother Dean's, and I said, no, I made that. And a lot of people couldn't believe it. I still know how to make it today, and that's an important moment for me. That's definitely a moment that'll always stick with me. And that's Black History for me here.